Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to add in a new color, or just if you run out of one color to add a new skein. So we'll just do our E-wrap and we'll say, where's my scissors? We'll say we're running out of our first color. Just ignore the swatch I've got on there. Alright, so let's say we're running out. If we just keep wrapping, we're going to run out, and then, we're not able to make it to the end of the row. So, at this point, you got to add new yarn. A couple ways you can do this. If you want, you can just tie them both together with a knot and just keep going. If you do that, then you're going to have knots in your project. What I prefer to do is, we got a few wrapped. Let me lay this flat for a minute. Take my old yarn and my new yarn. Leave a tail on both ends. See, here's the tail for the new yarn. Here's the tail for the old yarn. Just wrap at least 3 pegs with both pieces of yarn together. That is securing it so that it's not going to unwind on you. Once you get as many pegs as you want, at least 3, I'm just going to do 3 for this one, then you can drop the tail and just start going with your new yarn. Doing this, you might end up with like a slightly thicker spot where the new yarn is added. But if you're doing a big blanket, I prefer this method over tying knots. And if you're doing it for a big blanket, blankets get a lot of stretch and a lot of wear to them. I would actually wrap, maybe 4 or maybe even 5 pegs with both together. Yes, there'll be a bigger, thick spot, but there's no way that's going to just come out on its own. So I will E-wrap back. And then you can just, whatever stitch you're doing, whatever project you're doing, you can just go from there. And just continue to do it as you would normal. But you will see the pegs you double wrapped, you will have both collars on those, and you're going to treat those pegs, the string on the pegs, both of them just as one. And what I like to do once I get all 3 of those off there, just kind of tug, not real hard, but the strings just a little bit, because you can see you might end up with a little bit of a bubble back there. Which that's fine, that's something you can actually fix later too if you would like. But that is my preferred way of adding yarn. Now you can do this with any stitch. If you're doing a purl stitch or a U-stitch or a figure 8 stitch, the concept is still the same. You just hold 2 pieces of yarn together, treat them as one for at least 3 pegs, but I would say 3 to 5 pegs depending on the project you're doing. When you are completely done with this, or when you go to tie in your ends, you can still take a crochet hook and weave your ends in, or I would leave, about an inch out and cut, and then you want to stretch your project in pretty much every direction you can, and you'll notice that these will almost disappear from just being stretched down into the project. But that is really all there is to adding a new skein of yarn or changing out a color. Alright, that's all I've got for you for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe.